Good morning, traders. In this video, you are going to learn how to use NinjaTrader 8 from scratch in approximately 10 minutes. The idea is not to teach you absolutely every function of the platform, but to go directly to what you need to start working and trading. This tutorial is intended both for someone who has never used NinjaTrader and for someone coming from platforms such as TradingView or Tradovate who wants to move to a more professional environment without making things complicated, yet with functions they do not need. The first thing is to have NinjaTrader 8 installed and have data available so you can practice. If you do not have it yet, go to brunomeza.com, scroll down to the footer, and open the tutorial called How to Download and Install NinjaTrader 8. Follow exactly the steps shown there. We prefer to keep that procedure on the website because NinjaTrader may change its registration process or the design of its website. And this way, we can keep the instructions updated without having to remake this video every time something changes. There you will also find the tutorial to renew the 14-day data when it expires. There is something important you need to understand here. The account you are going to create when installing NinjaTrader for the first time will be your main account for logging into the platform. And you do not need to keep creating different accounts every time you want to log in. Later, when you need to renew the 14-day data, the procedure may require creating another account, but that account will only be used to renew the data. Your main NinjaTrader account will remain the same. That entire procedure is explained in the renewal tutorial that you will find on the same page. Once you have NinjaTrader installed and the data working, open NinjaTrader 8 and log in with your account credentials. Now we are going to enable a very important function called multi-provider, which allows us to work with different brokers, funding companies, and connections within the same platform. To enable it, go to Tools and then Settings. There, enable multi-provider and confirm with OK. From there, we can configure our connections. Go to Connections and then Configure. This is where you are going to add the funding companies, brokers, or data providers you use. Normally, each company provides its own instructions, so you should always follow the specific configuration indicated by your funding company or broker. As a reference, if you use credentials that must connect through Tradovate, look for the connection simply called NinjaTrader, double-click it, and enter your username and password. If your company uses Rithmic, look for the Rithmic for NinjaTrader brokerage connection and enter the information provided by the funding company or broker. If you use any other provider, you simply need to ask your funding company or broker which connection it requires. Once it is configured, go back to Connections and click that connection to activate it. When it connects, you will begin to see its accounts inside NinjaTrader. You can repeat exactly the same procedure with all the connections you need, and keep several companies connected at the same time. Now we're going to do something that avoids one of the most common problems when someone starts using NinjaTrader: creating a workspace. Many people open their charts, add indicators, organize everything on their screens, close NinjaTrader, and then do not know how to preserve that layout. That is what Workspaces are for. Go to Workspaces, select New, and create a workspace with any name you want. For example, Trading, Workspace 1, or your own name. From that moment on, you can organize your charts, indicators, instruments, and windows there. And when you open NinjaTrader again, you will be able to return to that same working environment with the layout you saved. Before opening our charts, we are going to review the rollover. Futures contracts change periodically, and when it is time to move from the previous contract to the new one, a rollover must be performed. NinjaTrader normally notifies you when you need to do it, but you can also do it manually. Go to Tools and then Database Management. The instruments that need a rollover will appear there, and you simply need to perform the update using the rollover option. If you have just installed NinjaTrader, then you should perform the rollover even if there is currently no expiration, but only if an instrument appears as pending in the list. Normally, when installing NinjaTrader for the first time, the instruments tend to appear with an old contract. Please perform the rollover before continuing. Later, you will be able to use exactly the same procedure whenever there is a contract change. Now we are ready to open our first chart. Go to New and select Chart. At the top, choose the instrument you want to use, and if it doesn't appear directly, you can search for it. You will normally find mini contracts under Futures and micro contracts under Micros. Then, under Data Series, choose the type of chart you want to use. NinjaTrader allows you to work with minutes, seconds, ticks, volume, Renko, and many other possibilities. Under Value, enter the corresponding value. For example, if you select Minute and enter 1 under Value, you will have a 1-minute chart. If you enter 2, you will have a 2-minute chart. You can also select how much history you want to load from the time frame settings. To start, I recommend approximately 30 days. You can load less or much more, but remember that the more history you load, the longer the chart may take to load. You can leave the rest of the options as they are for now. Under Chart Style, you can choose the appearance of the chart, and if you do not know what to use, simply leave Candlestick, which is the traditional and most commonly used format, and click OK. With the chart open, we are going to enable one of NinjaTrader's most important tools, Chart Trader. Chart Trader is the panel that allows us to trade directly from the chart. If you only want to analyze, you can use the chart without Chart Trader, but if you want to execute trades from there, you need to enable it. At the top, you will find the Chart Trader button that we are showing on the screen right now. When you click it, the options Off, Chart Trader, and Chart Trader Hidden will appear. Do not make things complicated for now, and simply select Chart Trader. The trading panel will automatically appear. There you can choose the account you want to trade from under Account. Select the number of contracts under Order Quantity, execute buy and sell orders, close positions, and also choose an ATM strategy under ATM Strategy, which we will look at in greater depth in a moment. If you want to have multiple time frames, it is also very simple. You can use the plus button that appears next to the chart tabs to add another chart and select the same instrument with a different time frame or even a different instrument. In addition, you can right-click a tab and duplicate it, even in a new window. This way you can distribute different time frames across one or several screens. And since we are doing all of this inside our workspace, we can preserve that layout afterward. Now we are going to add indicators. Right-click the chart and go to Indicators. At the top, you will have the list of available indicators. For example, if you want to use an RSI, look for RSI, double-click it to add it, and then you can modify its parameters. From that same window, you can see the indicators you already have on the chart, modify them, remove them, or add new ones. When you are finished, click OK and they will appear directly on the chart. Drawing works practically just as easily. On the top toolbar, you will find the pencil icon. corresponding to drawing tools. From there, you can select lines, horizontal lines, rectangles, Fibonacci tools, text, and many other tools. Select what you need and simply draw it directly on the chart. Now we are going to move into the trading section. From ChartTrader, you can use buy market and sell market to enter a buy or sell immediately. You also have other trading buttons such as buy ask, sell ask, buy bid, sell bid, reverse, and close. To place pending orders directly at a specific price, position the cursor over the level where you want to place the order and right-click. If you are below the current market price, NinjaTrader will show you the orders compatible with that area, such as buy limit, buy MIT, sell stop market, and sell stop limit. If you are above the market, options such as sell limit, sell MIT, buy stop market, and buy stop limit will appear. Select the corresponding order, and once it is placed, you can move it directly on the chart. We only have one of NinjaTrader's most useful functions left to learn: ATM Strategy. An ATM allows us to define our stop loss and profit target in advance, so that when we enter the market, NinjaTrader places those orders automatically, and we do not have to do it manually after opening the position. In ChartTrader, open ATM Strategy. If none appears, it means you do not have any ATM selected, and you would enter without a pre-configured stop and target. To create one, select Custom. For this example, we are going to keep it very simple. We leave the quantity at 1 and use ticks as the unit of measurement, because it is a very simple and universal way to work with futures. Suppose we want a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. We can set a stop loss of 100 ticks and a target of 200 ticks. Since we selected ticks under parameter type, those distances will be expressed precisely in ticks. You can leave the rest at the default settings. When you are finished, click Save as Template, enter a name, for example 2-to-1, save it, and confirm with OK. From that moment on, that configuration will appear as available under ATM Strategy, and you will be able to select it whenever you want to use it. Now, when you open a trade with that ATM selected, NinjaTrader will automatically place your target and your stop according to the configuration you just created. And with this, you now have practically everything you need to get started. You now know how to install NinjaTrader, connect your accounts, save your working environment, perform a rollover, open charts, configure different time frames, enable ChartTrader, add indicators, use drawing tools, execute different types of orders, and work with automatic stops and targets using ATM. Before finishing, I want to mention something especially important if you are coming from TradingView. TradingView has a function that I personally find very convenient and that NinjaTrader does not include in such a visual way: being able to decide before entering exactly where you want to place your stop loss and take profit, and visually prepare the trade on the chart. In NinjaTrader, you can achieve something similar through ATM Strategy, but the configuration is not as visual. That is why we developed Advanced Risk Reward for NinjaTrader. Our version 4 allows you to visually select where you want to place the entry, stop loss, and target, automatically calculate the number of contracts, and also incorporate more advanced tools such as auto break-even, trailing stop, and other management functions. It is a paid product, and you can find all of its features in our store at brunomeza.com. However, we also have Advanced Risk Reward version 3, which is a simpler version but still includes precisely the fundamental functions that someone accustomed to TradingView may miss. visually selecting the stop and target, and a contract calculator. This version 3 is included free of charge when you purchase our account replicator for NinjaTrader 8 or our emotional manager, which you can also review in the store at brunomeza.com. In addition, if you already have any of these products and received Advanced Risk Reward version 3 free of charge, inside your customer area you will find an offer to upgrade to Advanced Risk Reward version 4, which is the full version with its additional features and updates. And that would be all. You now have the essential knowledge to start trading and navigating NinjaTrader without having to learn the entire platform all at once. Master this workflow first, start using it, and little by little you will be able to discover all the more advanced functions NinjaTrader has to offer.